Hello and welcome back to the Skin Philosophy Edit with myself, Annalouise. And today we have Louise, who is Head of Talent Acquisition globally for Laser Clinics Group. So Laser Clinics Group is a worldwide chain of laser clinics that's grown massively over the last few years. So welcome, Louise. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Annalise, for having me.
So say, first of all, starting off, give us an idea about laser clinics, because you and I have spoken many a time about it. And, you know, I understand the ethos behind the group and that, but it's grown exponentially over the last few years. And I know that's because of, like, it has good ethos, good equipment, good staff, everything. So if you tell us just a little bit about laser clinics first.
Yeah, sure. I might give you a bit of the history story. So we opened our first clinic 15 years ago in Australia. So you can tell from my accent, I'm from Australia. And we opened our first clinic and grew. And then in 2019, we opened our first clinic in the United Kingdom. So about that stage, we had grown to about 130 clinics in Australia.
Oh, wow.
We expanded to New Zealand, and then we expanded into Asia, or Singapore. And in the last over 12 months, we've expanded into Canada.
Yes.
So that's really exciting. So to date, we now have over 200 clinics.
Huge.
And very exciting. Very soon, we're going to celebrate our 50th clinic in the United Kingdom. So that's within sort of 3-4 years we've done that in the United Kingdom. So very exciting, and probably hired over 300 dermal therapists in the United Kingdom in the last year and a half. So something I'm pretty proud of.
Yeah, that's a huge amount.
We've been busy.
Yeah. So how do you think, like, what do you think is the difference why laser clinics are being so successful over here, that they're growing so quickly?
Yeah, I mean, our model was always to bring the best treatments to the market. This was back 15 years ago when we created the business. The best treatments at an affordable price with fantastic therapists and medical professionals, and be able to treat a variety of different customers. So everything from we do skin treatments, laser hair removal, body treatments and cosmetic injectables, and we have our own cosmeceutical skincare range.
Yeah.
So, and it's great because we've got now clinics in areas that maybe someone couldn't, access a clinic like ours. It didn't exist. There's areas now in the UK like Plymouth. We've opened in Cardiff recently. So that's, I think that's definitely one of the reasons why we've been successful. We've been able to open in regions and give fantastic services and have fantastic medical devices and equipment as well that we're working with. So fantastic partners like Candela and Hydrofacial. So I think that's definitely one of the secrets to the success of the business.
And how did you come to develop yourself within this? How did you come to be so high global?
I was a customer a long time ago. I think, like, in Australia, we're very well known. We've got over 60% market share. And so I was a long time customer, probably 8 or 10 years, buying the cosmeceutical skincare and getting my skin treatments from laser clinics. And I'd been working in recruitment for over 20 years and worked for some big healthcare pharmaceutical businesses, and just was looking for a new challenge. So took up a role 4 years ago in Australia. Didn't realise that I'd be sitting with you today
in the UK.
Didn't picture this. And that's, I think, probably going back to one of the reasons why I'm excited to talk to you today is how we have grown and the opportunities. So
exactly. The journeys that people can have.
Yeah. So I'm a good example, and I'm in head office, but there's hundreds of these stories that are happening within the clinics for therapists. So, long story short, 2 years ago, when we knew we were going to expand more into the United Kingdom, they asked me to move over here. And so now I'm living in London and helping support opening the new clinics, not just within the United Kingdom, but it's a good time zone for me to be here and support as well Canada, Asia, Australia as well, and New Zealand.
Yeah. So basically, the reason why you're here today, why we're talking about it, is the different journeys therapists, because what we want to do is show the different opportunities people can have within this industry. And laser clinics is such a perfect example of how you can build up from therapist to manager to franchisee, or even just keep going in the management route, building up along. And so basically, a therapist, explain the journey, what would happen.
Yeah, and look, just to give you some background, we've got a very big head office that supports all of our clinics. So certainly, we've got a learning and development team. We've got an infield training team. We have an infield area management team. So all of these functions on top of marketing, human resources, other divisions that help support all of our clinics. And so when a therapist joins, they will absolutely have an onboarding, a training, induction process. And training doesn't stop from that first week. It's an ongoing process so that they can upskill.
Yeah.
It could mean having the infield trainer coming to that clinic and doing one-on-one.
Yeah.
Or it might be a new clinic opening and the team of therapists are going to be onboarded in the treatments as well.
Yeah.
Depending on what level you're coming in at. So if it might be a recent graduate from your school, they will be coming in doing the entry-level modalities. But then if we're hiring a senior therapist, then they might be going straight into learning the advanced skin treatments and doing some of those senior roles within the clinic. And we're always looking for talent at that level to potentially be future team leaders, assistant managers, clinic managers.
Yeah.
And, I can think off the top of my head, two of our owners because we're a franchise network, and there's two owners at the moment in the UK that started out as therapists with us, which is just brilliant. So one of them originally started from Australia and moved to the UK and now owns her own clinic with us.
Yeah.
And another therapist who was working for us in two of our clinics and now is running another clinic as well and owns. So, for me, that's what makes me proud and why I get up every day to do this job is to see those success stories and
it's so nice to have that, though, that support, because we were talking about this before. I think self-employed is into this big thing that you're your own boss, and people don't realise the beauty of being able to come into work and leave work in work, and be able to take holidays and be paid for holidays and just be able to relax. And I think, first of all, as a graduate, going out, getting experience within a clinic with a support team around you, with managers around you, is really important. But also, there shouldn't be such a stigma with just being employed. It shouldn't be like, oh, it's so cool to be like, give me employed any day.
Exactly. And the good thing is, as we've grown, we've now opened in areas where a therapist will say, well, actually, this is closer to where I'm living. And then we were able to then support them then having a moving to another clinic that is a little bit closer for them so they can have that work-life balance.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that we do support because now we've got that span and depth of having close to 50 clinics now in the UK and more. So certainly we've got full-time, part-time and casual employees. And every role in the clinic will lead from reception through to a therapist position, senior therapist, team leader, and then assistant manager and clinic manager.
Yeah. And even you also said trainers. You can become trainers.
Yeah, so we've got quite a large training team in every country, and they will come out to that clinic for new induction. And there's certainly a lot of those therapists have been started with us as therapists.
Yeah. And
then progressed to that leadership role and gone and done a training course and have their qualifications in beauty. So, yes, certainly I can think of two of our trainers that have started with us that way.
Yeah.
And the same in Australia. Area managers as well. So that's another path that they might want to look down as well. So moving into head office and being an area manager.
Yeah.
From clinic. And there's even, we've even got therapists who've then gone on to do further education in nursing and become cosmetic injectors.
Really?
Oh yeah, yes.
That's good.
We haven't had as, because we've only been in the UK for 3 years, but certainly I could think of probably over 30 injectors that have done that within Australia, that we've then helped support them, and then they know that clinic, they know their clients within that clinic, and it's fabulous.
Yeah.
That then they can stay with us and do cosmetic inject and still do some skin treatments as well. So actually, and one of my recruiters in my team actually has gone on, and she was studying while working for me, doing nursing to become an injector. Yeah, so I could do a little spider web right now, probably over 100 different little pathways, and, you know, area managers and people who have moved countries. So we've recently hired someone in a clinic down south that was a therapist in Australia, and she decided to move to the UK. So we were able to find her an opportunity here. So that's certainly another scope. I think when they have the qualifications with your school, they can have a job, you know, globally now. I think it's one of the most fantastic industries to work in.
Well, Canada would be amazing.
Yeah, and that's why I work so closely with iTech and VTCT, because we can support them with roles within Canada, Australia, and vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely. My brother and his wife have just applied for a visa for Canada. Just going out there, even have the experience for a year to work abroad and then move back or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was talking to a lady on the week. I was in Boots and just chatting to her, and she'd just moved from Canada. And I was just saying, well, how did you get this role? And she was just lovely in service counter and beauty. And she was saying, I'm actually a scientist, but I also have got beauty qualifications, and I work here part-time, and I'm doing... And I said, how did you find getting a job here? And she said, oh, quite easily. So I love that that's the other thing we see a lot of, that people can still do part-time working in beauty, and then maybe have something on the side they want to do. Maybe they're working in a hospital, or they've got a family, or they're looking after a parent, or so. I think it's great because you can have these long-term career stability and options.
And what would you say, like, if I'm training at the moment or learning, or I'm finishing off my qualifications, what would you say when you see the therapists coming in? What are important values you look for when you're hiring within it?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we encourage, even if you're studying, you're looking for part-time work, so it doesn't have to necessarily be when they're finished and they've graduated. So that's the first thing I wanted to say, that we're happy to talk to students when they have just started their journey of education. Everything from, obviously, it's the way they present and their communication skills. That's really important. And understand that some of the students may never have had a job before, or they've only had one role and it's not in our industry. So transferable skills is fantastic. So I want to give them the confidence to know that even if they've worked in hospitality, or maybe they've worked in a retail role that's not in our industry, then we'd absolutely look at those transferable skills too.
And you were saying before, because when we were talking, it's like making sure that, you know, you've good communication, you've good presentability, professionalism, hair tied back, looking professional within your role is quite important. I think it kind of gets forgotten about these days, because you want to look cool or pretty rather than actually wanting to be more hygienic and professional.
I think so too. And I was thinking about this actually. I remember one of the first jobs I really wanted to work. This is when I was studying quite a while ago. And in Australia we have a very big retail chain called David Jones. It's probably equivalent to, say, like a Selfridges or a Harrods. And I was desperate to work there. Just really wanted to always work at David Jones. Didn't care what floor I was working on. So I went for the interview, but I dressed exactly like the uniform for David Jones. So I had my hair pulled back, I had a black outfit on, a white blouse, because I knew that's what they wore there. So what I'm saying, definitely I think it's important wherever they're going to be going, whether it's with us or it might be a different chain, but have a look and go into that clinic, touch, feel, look at the products, maybe have a treatment, and then then you'll be able to then present in that interview like you are part of that brand already. That could be a good tip.
Yes, that's a really good tip. I had someone before turn up for an interview, and I said, I asked her why she wanted to work for the clinic, and this was the clinic in Barnes, and she didn't have a clue what we did. Didn't have a clue.
Yeah, it surprises me. It doesn't take a lot, especially with most brands. And if you're applying for us, well, we've got an incredible website with a wealth of knowledge, a careers page, and you don't need to memorise it. And we certainly will interview someone and not make it too nerve-wracking or complicated. And we want to tell you a lot about us as well. So it should be a two-way conversation, absolutely. But I definitely think that's just not negotiable to do a little bit of research or, Google the company, maybe read some of the reviews, go into the clinic, do a little bit of preparation, half an hour. That's all it might
exactly.
take.
Just an idea.
Yeah. Be on time, not too early, certainly not too late. These are all simple things. And if you don't have a lot on a resume, at least you could put things on your CV that might be transferable. So if you've only had one job, you might want to put that you're involved at school, maybe in a project or a sports or something like that, because we often will recruit a lot of graduates. And I know that's something that they're a little bit nervous about, not being able to talk about experience. And sometimes they get nervous to apply to us. I've heard that too, which is really interesting. So we're really open to hiring and training because we have that capability within our business to train. And they will be supported particularly we've got a medical advisory board. Each country has a medical director. And I didn't know if you knew this, we've got a nursing council as well. So safety for us and supporting our therapists and our customers and patients is front of mind for us. So they will come to us, and that's really important. They'll feel that as soon as they start working for us. That compliance and safety is not negotiable for our customers and for them as well.
Yeah, it is quite important. And if someone is proud of where they work, they want that too as well.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. And that comes across from the customer journey when the customers come in to our clinics. And that's why I think we've done so well as a business, because we're so trusted.
Yeah.
And we've been in the business for so long. And I think having that medical backing. So even if we are rolling out a new treatment, we're bringing out a new skincare product, everything we do has to go through our medical advisory committee.
Okay.
So everything that the therapist is going to be working on has had that. And we've even got a head of safety within our business too, with a nursing background. So there's behind the scenes, they're supported to feel confident when they start with us.
And so what do you think are the plans now for Laser Clinics Group moving forward?
That's a good question. We will continue to expand. I can't tell you exactly where. It's a secret. But no, we certainly will continue to expand in the UK. But for us, really, it's about building great clinics, great teams, making sure our staff have got the right capability, and we're continuing to support them as well in their journey with us. So I think that's something we're going to continue to focus on.
And is there any new treatments you're thinking going forward you're going to bring into it?
We just introduced Tesla Forma, a body treatment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's in the UK, so that's new.
Yeah.
And in the last 12 months, we've brought in Hydrofacial, which is doing very well. I'm probably one of their biggest fans. We have an NPD, a new product development team. And they're based in Australia, so we are constantly looking at what do our consumers want, and we have great marketing insights to know, in different demographics, different areas, different countries, what our customers are wanting. So to be able to look at bringing out new skincare, or it could be a new treatment. So that's, I think, one thing that we've done a lot of in the last 3 years, and I think the therapists wanted that. So we also listen to our staff.
Yeah.
When I started 4 years ago, just before COVID, that was something that, that can happen with retention. People leave because they want to keep, therapists want to be working on new treatments and having a diverse role. So I think the business listens to that, and we've developed a lot more treatments in every country. And skincare as well. I think we've almost doubled the size and brought out a new skincare range.
Yeah, because you have your skincare line as well,
do.
which is amazing.
Yes, yeah, so that started 15 years ago as well.
Yeah.
And we brought out a new range, like a sister to an institute called Expert. So that was launched, good about a year and a half ago too. So that's every year's going to keep evolving with our business.
Yeah.
So our therapists, our medical professionals, will certainly they won't be bored.
Yeah, that's what I love about it, is the evolving. Also, I love the fact that it is the best equipment. That's what I really like. The likes of Candela and Hydrofacial and stuff like that, it's top of the range.
Yeah, I know.
Which is great because when you're doing a treatment, then your clients are going to get the best result. As a therapist, as a professional, that's what I would want.
Yeah.
So it's great for people coming working. So with regards to working in the clinic and being hired with laser clinics, it can be quite tough, people getting into the industry. You do have to look at different kind of benefits some clinics will have to others. So laser clinics is quite good for looking after their staff. They've good benefits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go through. So things like, I guess, from a benefits piece from in our clinics. So from day one, they get free laser and skin treatments.
Really?
Yeah. A very heavily discount off all the skincare as well.
Yeah.
And very heavily discounted off the advanced skin treatments as well. So whether it's Rejuvapen, injectables and Hydrofacial. So that's, and they also get friends and family benefits too.
Okay.
And there is bonus structure that we offer.
Yeah.
So that's from a benefit side. And then you've got other things like they have birthday leave, so they'll get their day off for their birthday. And I know each clinic has really fantastic different culture as well. So I know that there's lots of events that will happen
team
with each
days
clinic.
out. Yeah.
But then we also have a yearly conference, so we recognise clinics and therapists.
I saw the awards thing.
Oh yeah,
that looks great.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've been doing that for years within Australia, and I'm so excited. Last year we did our first one in the UK, and we'll have another one later this year. And we also do monthly recognition of Therapist of the Month.
Okay.
Which is fabulous.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm really proud of too is we have an employee assistance program. So this is for a free counselling, completely confidential service that's with a different provider that's not related to laser clinics, so that if a therapist or a manager is going through something, it doesn't have to be work related and needs to reach out to talk to someone.
Yeah.
They can access that
good.
For an hour counselling service. There's 3 sessions they can have, and this is with a clinician. So the company we've partnered with will then arrange that counselling service with someone who's a specialist in that field.
Yeah.
So we've been using this firm for a few years, and it was fabulous, particularly through COVID. We worked very, very closely with them because all of our therapists we kept within our network and made sure we were doing wellbeing and mental health check-ins with all of our clinics and extra support through that company.
Brilliant.
So I think from a pay, conditions, benefits are great, and then obviously training, which never stops.
Yeah.
And then I think the career pathways, I think that's probably something that's really unique about what we can offer.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt, because I love the franchise thing of eventually taking the franchise.
Yeah, exactly, and it's possible.
Yeah.
It's really possible. Our clinic owner in Camden, Natalia, so she was a therapist in our network.
Okay.
Yeah, so she owns that clinic now, and there's certainly and in Australia and other markets as well.
Yeah. Because if you're nervous about opening a business just by yourself, at least you've support, at least you've a guide, at least you've a brand.
You've got a trusted brand. You're opening up a clinic with, like you were saying, the best devices, beautiful clinics.
Yeah.
Clinics are gorgeous. You'll have to come and have a look at one if you've not been. Fantastic. Even things like, kitchen area and facilities for the staff too. You only have to take a look at Camden. They've got a gorgeous big kitchen area, staff area. So that all these little things I think are important to to, so that when you're having a break, you've got somewhere to go. I know some clinics or even retail stores I've been to don't have facilities for their team, so I think that's nice.
Yeah, it is. So any advice for any people moving into or thinking about moving into the industry? Anything you would say that they should be doing or looking for with regards to job, training, qualifications, learning, whatever?
I think definitely sit back and if you're passionate about the industry, sit back, like you were saying about that candidate who went for that interview. Have a real good think at where do you want to work? Where do you see yourself? I think that's really important. I know it sounds really simple, but a lot of people don't. So take the time to think about what type of culture is important for you. Where do you want to work? And do your research. And training doesn't stop. So whether it's yourself going back and doing extra training. So one of our therapists at Camden, actually, she loves being a therapist, but she also loves digital marketing. So she, I know, is doing, whether that's something you're interested in, then you could actually do that hand in hand with, building up your skill set as a therapist or as an injector. So I think looking outside of the future of where the industry is going and diversifying in other skills that might help your career in beauty, whether it's, people skills and communication skills and things like that, because you're certainly working with people all day. And get out and network, go to events. We've got, like the UK, it blows my mind how many events I've seen you at and how many great events there are at your fingertips to go out and research and look at the devices and the products and meet people like you and go up and just get to feel the industry.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing is important to do that as well. And then things like subscribe, that Beauty Matters is a great one to subscribe to, Professional Beauty Magazine, just keeping ahead of trends and what's happening in the industry.
Yeah.
I think that helps.
Yeah.
If you're ambitious about developing in the industry.
And so just a little question. Is there anything before you moved into the industry that you thought this industry, like you had an idea of it, but it was different?
Yeah, I loved that question when you asked me that before. I actually didn't. I've always been a customer of beauty and laser clinics and never worked in the industry. And as I've gotten to go out and really talk and interview and hire and been doing some video conversations with some of our therapists, it's blown my mind how much our therapists generally love doing what they're doing because they're changing lives and they care about making a difference to someone's confidence. I don't think I really realised that. I knew for me that was why I go to clinics and it's more for me, like whether I'm going to get my hair cut and things like that. So I didn't realise that a lot of our therapists, that's why they get up every day and they love coming into work. They love seeing that difference, the confidence, and then hearing those stories and going, this customer couldn't wear shorts for years because she had these marks on her legs or was nervous about going out socially because of acne, and then hearing these stories and going, wow, this really... I think that was something I just took for granted. Yeah,
it is. There is great passion behind the therapists in the job. And if you're not into caring about people, you have to really think about whether you really want to be in the job.
I agree, and that's why I see the difference in some of the therapists. And that's okay if you want to come to work and do a great job and go home. But there's certainly a lot of our staff that I've had the pleasure to get to know and hear these stories, and some are quite emotional when you hear about when they talk about these stories about their patients that they're seeing and what they've done for them, and that's why they do it. So
and even to just sit and listen to people, while they're getting a facial, people can offload during that treatment time, and it's just being there.
Yeah, absolutely. I know myself when COVID was over, and I remember my first treatment that I went to go and see a beauty therapist. I'm getting personal here, but I'd had a couple of things happen to me. I had a couple of family members pass away during that time.
Yeah.
And so just, I think, connecting with someone outside of the house was really important. And I didn't realise, and when I went to go and see my beauty therapist, it was really emotional for me because I remember saying to them, you don't realise how much what you've done in this treatment, it's not just the treatment. It wasn't the treatment.
Yeah.
It was actually that human contact and the care and the nurturing.
Yeah.
And I wanted her to know that. It was, I'm sure there's other people that feel that way. They just maybe don't say it, or maybe the therapist doesn't hear that. But I feel like...
Yeah, you kind of, like, it definitely is part of the industry that people outside don't realise that we do as therapists, that we sit and listen, we're there for people, but it's definitely part of the industry that, like, I love, like, you know, just being there for people and having that. And we were just speaking about it just earlier, about that kind of personal touch that you give people.
Right.
Yeah,
there's a story. Every person that walks into the clinic has had a certain day or a certain morning, has a life at home, and they're coming in to see. It could be for something, you know, cosmetic, but a lot of people will be coming in. They might not share that.
Yeah.
I think that's something I love and feel proud to work for laser clinics, because the treatments we're doing are helping build their confidence and changing something that they might not have felt as confident about.
Yeah, definitely. And if you can change it, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you so much, Louise, for coming in. It's been really nice.
No, it's been such a great conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, and I hope it helps all the therapists about looking for jobs and what to do with their career.
Absolutely. And certainly if they're open to or they want to hear about working for us, I'll send you our details as well.
Yes, we'll send out an email.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks,
okay,
Annalouise.
thanks, Louise.